Welcome back. Tim Thiesen Live. This segment of the program is brought to you by our friends at National Federation of Independent Business, the voice of small business. What a interesting show it's been today, and it's about to get more interesting. My next guest is my good friend, Bryan Barnes. Bryan, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
We'll have to make a disclaimer. Bryan and I have known each other. He used to be in the real estate business, so him and I have done transactions together, and we survived that. We're still talking to each other,
yeah,
so
believe it or
that's
not.
good. And Bryan's lived a very interesting life. He's a pilot. Now he's a farmer, realtor, and everything else. And we want to talk about safe haven farms. The big trend now is to kind of get back to what's natural,
right?
The way things used to be. And so at Safe Haven Farms, sustainable farms, you're into a lot of different things. So kind of give us kind of an overview of the farm part, and then we want to, before the end of the segment, we want to touch on the spiritual aspects of what you do also.
Okay, all right. Well, Safe Haven Sustainable Farms is kind of like what the name encompasses, is the sustainable part. So much of the things that we've done over the years with agriculture and just life in general is technology is wonderful, but we've lost a lot of the knowledge of the older ways, you know, some of the basic principles that people have always used. We've kind of lost those. And so part of our idea of sustainability is going back to those good, solid ways, going back to not only the ways, but in the way we eat too, you know, natural food instead of in fact, most everything we do is what they call heirloom produce. So it's some varieties have been around for hundreds of years, and so that's really what we focus on. There is the sustainability of whatever we're doing, and just going back to the natural ways and just everything that we can do to do that. And then along with that, and this is where our heart really is at, is bringing young people in that. They're from all walks of life too. Many of them have not had the opportunity like we have in the valley here. There's so much agriculture. A lot of us have grown up on farms, but there's a lot of people who have no idea. So a lot of what we do is, and that's where our heart really is bringing young people, college age young people, to get a really good solid foundation, and we teach them all kinds of different things. You mentioned spiritual, that is one thing too. But just there's foundational principles, hard work, tenacity. I mean, you know what it's like being a farmer, you know. So, and because what we feel is really important is building leadership in these young individuals. And it seems like there's not a better place to do that than on a farm, where you just have to, I mean, it's day in, it's day out, it's hard work, but you get to see the produce, you know, for the work of your hands develop into something. And so we really want to see that in young people, and we've seen great progress already, and it's very exciting to us. So that's kind of in a nutshell what the farm is.
So okay, well, let's segue a little bit. Let's talk about the kids.
Okay.
Where do they come from? And you said they're basically what, post-high school, college age?
Yeah, college age, usually in between high school and, you know, before they start their career or even in college. There's some who have gone through college and then want to come back and, you know, get a foundation in these areas as well. But yeah, they come from all over the place. We've had kids from Canada, from Texas, from here in California, local people. My own kids were part of it as well, so that's about as local as you can get.
You betcha. Right in your backyard.
Yeah. So everywhere.
Okay, yeah, and you're out in Orosi, California. For those of you from the Central Valley that don't know where Orosi is, south on the 99 from the Fresno area, or north from Visalia or Bakersfield, and you go to Dinuba, which is about 13 miles off the State Route 99 east, and then you keep going another 7 or 8 miles.
Yeah, you just keep going toward the mountains.
Right, and you're right at the base of the foothills. Very, very beautiful area. Now you also deal with livestock too. So let's talk about, you're doing vegetables.
Yeah,
livestock, eggs, meat, everything else,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much everything. Well, not everything. I mean, there's some things that we haven't been doing yet that I'm dragging my feet on a little bit. Haven't necessarily gone into sheep and goats, but I suppose at one point it's coming. But we raise grass-fed beef, and then soy-free, all-natural chicken and eggs, and then we go to farmers markets here and there. We were at the farmers market in River Park here this last year, and then we're doing another one down in Bakersfield, and this next year we're scheduled to do one hopefully in Fresno again, and in Visalia and in Bakersfield. So trying to do those things. Then we take what we have, excuse me. We put together boxes of produce. So I don't know if people are familiar with the CSA type of.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because where my oldest son and his family lives in Thousand Oaks, there's a couple of farms there in Ventura County that do the same program. So let's talk about that, because this is a good promotion, which you can reach him through the website on.
Yes, you can. And what you'd want to do for that is you can go to safehavencsa.com.
And the website is on the screen.
Well, I've got another one on the screen too. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, okay, it's right there. Excellent. Yeah. But yeah, go to safehavencsa.com, and that tells you about what we do with the CSA. There's several big ones around here. I don't know of any that do specializing in all heirloom produce. So that's one thing that we specialize in. We're very proud of it, just because it's hard to grow some of these old varieties. You know, they're not hybridized to be less susceptible to maybe diseases or certain kinds of bugs and things like that. But they've got all that original nutrition, all those old flavors. A lot of people are familiar with heirloom tomatoes,
right?
But there's heirloom eggplant, and there's just heirloom everything.
Absolutely. And then the CSA program, that is now people they buy in, right, and then they receive a box of a variety of things. Yeah. Just kind of go into that, so because we're going to try to sell some of those today.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Each week we put together a box of whatever we produce as far as vegetable goes, whether it be eggplant, corn, tomatoes, of course, potatoes, onions, garlic, all kinds of squashes and greens, lettuce, and just all kinds of stuff. Whatever we're growing and producing on the farm. And the cool thing is, it's these young people that are working and learning, and they're the ones that are putting themselves in that box a little bit. And so it's really a neat thing for them. And so you can go and you can order a weekly box for yourself, or one thing that I really enjoy doing is to be able to donate a box to a family that's maybe struggling. And we do that already, just from the abilities that we have. But you can go online and donate a weekly box to a family. And so we do as much as we can with that. Obviously, we've only got so many. Our farm is only so big, and so we've only got so many boxes each year or each week that we can put out. But it's just wonderful, and then there's add-ons that you can get too. When we have it available, you can get the grass-fed beef, the soy-free, non-GMO chicken, and eggs, and all those things.
Okay, and then the chicken and eggs, that's just an ongoing deal.
So. Yeah, it's an ongoing deal. When it's available. We're very we do it very naturally, and the production goes up and down a little bit with the weather. It's not like the grocery store where you've got everything all year round. So production goes up, and we're learning too. It's we certainly don't know everything there is to know about farming.
Oh, absolutely, it's ongoing there. And then you're. With the kids that come to work, I was reading on your website that you have a very structured environment.
We do,
which is good, and that's something that a lot of kids. It's no secret, so we can talk about it. A lot of kids are really needing structure in their life, which will prepare them for life, because life has to be structured to be for you to be successful. Getting up on time, getting to work, doing your job, and making sure it's done before you go home.
Right. Well, it's not like going to camp. It's not like going to summer camp. This is it's kind of a day in, day out thing. But I will have to say, yes, there's a lot of hard work, but it is fun. There's a camaraderie built that's between the other young people that come. There's just getting to work side by side with someone else who is really trying, having a lot of the same values that you have. But, so it is a lot of fun, but we do require a lot too. Typical day, if you will, we wake up probably about 5 o'clock in the morning, depending on when the sun's coming up and during that part of the year. Sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later, depends on the work that needs to be done that day. But get up at 5 a.m. and as I mentioned before, there's definitely a spiritual side to this, and so we have all the students do their personal morning prayer time between 5 and 6 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock we have breakfast all together. Everybody that's part of Growing in Torah. That I didn't mention that earlier. That's what that program of Safe Haven Sustainable Farms is, Growing in Torah. Just to explain that just a little bit, Torah is the Hebrew word, and we go Hebrew because it's all about getting back to your roots, right? Getting back to things. So is the Hebrew word for God's teaching and instructions, or some people be familiar with the first 5 books of the Bible.
Sure.
But it's really God's teaching and instruction. Anyway, so they get up and then we have breakfast, and then we do a corporate time of teaching and instruction and prayer and different things like that, which is very exciting. We can kind of teach them different things that is happening on the farm and being related out there in the field to what's in the Scripture.
Right.
And so much of Scripture is based in agriculture, from Genesis to Revelation. It's right there. And so anyway, we get to do that on an ongoing basis. And after breakfast and after that time, we get out and we go to work.
Okay.
And we work hard until lunchtime, and we have lunch, and we go work again. And some of it's putting together boxes and different things. Some of it's weeding, different things like that.
Okay, well, very good. This is great. I think what we'll do, we may drag my buddy Ted, who was in here earlier, we'll drag him out this summer with his camera.
Excellent.
And we'll visit the farm. You're right in my neighborhood. I'll stop by and see you. And very good. And the website is on the screen, folks. And a good program. And if you know of young people where they would be of benefit to this is it. If you want fresh produce, this is the place to go. And it's all the natural, sustainable, like it should be to begin with.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you, Bryan, for coming in.
Thank you very much for having
Okay.
me.
All right, folks, we'll be right back after these messages brought to you by the National Federation of Independent Business.
This segment's brought to you by Tioga Sequoia Brewery. Central Valley Talk is fueled by Tioga Sequoia Brewery in downtown Fresno.
Watch Tim Thiesen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.